If you want to improve your truck's responsiveness and get an overall better driving experience, then the Shift Power USA throttle response controller is going to be a great choice for your 2019 and newer Ram 1500. Featuring tons of customizability, easy app-based control, and the ability to make your truck respond better than it ever could in stock form, this is a great way to wake up your truck and make driving it a whole lot more fun for not a ton of money. Now, when it comes to throttle controllers, I always like to preface with what these devices don't do. So let's be clear, a throttle controller will not increase your truck's power levels, as it is not a tuner. However, it does alter the way your throttle pedal responds, hence the name. In the age of everything being electronically controlled and metered through your car's computer system, the throttle pedal is tuned from the factory to have a bit of a delay in it. So when you hit the pedal, the engine doesn't always respond exactly in turn to how much pressure you apply, like it would with an old school cable throttle, which means there's often that little bit of delayed feeling. It's almost like having turbo lag even if you don't have a turbocharged vehicle. A throttle controller can change that, so when you start to apply the pedal, your truck is going to respond faster. The Shift Power USA controller comes with 4 different levels of cranked up response, each more aggressive than the last. Dynamic is a slight increase, which is going to be great for commuting or running around town. Sport turns things up a bit more and gives a more balanced setting. Then you have Super Sport, which is an even quicker response, and Race, which is the most aggressive. And the last 2 are meant for use on highways where quick response can mean the difference between pulling off an overtaking maneuver and getting boxed in. Now, there are also 2 security modes. Lock, which completely disables the throttle pedal, so even if someone manages to get your truck started, it can't be driven away with that mode engaged. There's also valet mode, which limits the pedal to only 30% response, so nobody can go around joyriding in your truck. Both of these modes can be configured to automatically engage and disengage if you're using the app, sort of like a proximity key. So when you approach with your phone on you, the unit's going to return to its default mode and turn off either lock or valet mode. And when you walk away, you can set it so one of those can also engage. Pretty neat stuff. You also have Eco mode, and that's going to work to smooth out accelerator pedal response so you can maximize fuel efficiency. So this is going to feel even more delayed. It's kind of going in the opposite direction. Now, this mode, like the others, is also customizable, so it won't limit your truck's overall output, just the way that pedal responds. Now, you can easily switch between the different modes using the button that comes attached to the unit. And it's a cool little button, feels nice in your hand, and it's very small and unobtrusive. Plus, it looks like a little arrow, which is something that's unique in the market. The other thing you can do is use the Shift Power app on your phone to switch and further customize each mode. Now, within each individual drive mode, you can also change the mapping from the default linear, which just linearly increases the amount of pedal response based on your pedal position, looks like a straight line. Or you can select dynamic or exponential response maps. Now, dynamic builds to 100% quickly and more aggressively, and then it kind of stagnates right there. Exponential is more of a smooth curve, but still more aggressive than the default linear setting. Now, all of this means that you can have more than 300 different options to customize your truck's response the way that you like it. And that kind of customizability is something that we don't see in most throttle controllers, so it makes this one a unique option within the market. Construction is always hard to talk about with this sort of thing, mostly because of the fact that it's just a little module and really you don't see it once it's plugged in. Now, the part that you do see, which they call the action button, which we talked about a moment ago, this toggles between the different modes and it feels pretty good in your hand. Again, it's got a neat little form factor and it's also backlit, so you can see what mode you're in at a glance. Different color backlighting represents different modes. And it comes fully ready to plug in as well with this weave cable wrapping, so even if you do manage to see more of it once it's plugged in, it looks pretty much like a factory part. Pricing comes in at about $250, and that does make it more expensive than your typical throttle controller. However, the additional customizability and the app-based control here, I think, make it worth the extra spend. It's something that I really like, and especially if you're a little bit more tech savvy, it's a cool system that will definitely improve the way your truck behaves, and you can always tailor it if you decide that you want to change it up later on. Installation gets a 1 out of 3 on our difficulty meter, and the job should take you around 15 minutes to complete. This is a totally plug and play install, and it's not going to leave any trace should you need to remove it at any point. Not much more I can say, so with that, let's head on out to the shop and we'll walk you through the installation process.
What's up, guys? Today we're installing a throttle controller in our Ram, so let's get started. So to install our throttle controller, we're going to have to go underneath the dash and disconnect the connector on the top of our gas pedal. Before I do that, I just want to get everything hooked up. So we have a red connector on our switch. That's going to go to this red connector sticking out of our wire loom. So I'm just going to plug it in just like that. And now that we have everything hooked up, I'm gonna go underneath the dash. We have this splitter. One side's gonna go onto the gas pedal and one side's gonna go into the connector that we removed from the gas pedal.
All right, so now that I'm in quite an interesting position, we're gonna go up to the top of the gas pedal and find our connector. This tab here, we're gonna pull back towards us, just like that, to release our connector. And I'm just gonna let that hang out. And then we're gonna get the splitter on our wire harness and find our connector. Slide that onto the gas pedal and push that tab in to lock it in. And then grab your connector that you disconnected and plug the other side connector into that. Push the tab in. Just give it a little tug to make sure it's not going anywhere. And then we're gonna want to run this in front of our brake pedal. You don't want to do this behind. And we're gonna run it over towards the other side. I'm gonna go up over this wire here. And then I'm gonna tuck that module up and out of the way. And then we can mount our switch up on the kick panel. So now you just need to find a spot where you want to mount your switch. I'm gonna go right in the bottom corner here on the dash. That way I can tuck my excess wire in behind this panel. So just flip it around and pull the double-sided tape backing off. And then line it up, stick it down. And then all of our excess wire we can just run right behind this panel and tuck it in. That'll keep it nice and out of the way. And then just do your final check. Make sure that your wires aren't around pedals or anything that it can get caught up on or prevent from moving forward. So now to go through our drive modes, we just need to press the button. Now starting off, this is our off mode with the original response when it's white. You give it a press and it's going to turn to your dynamic mode, which is a little softer than normal. Press it again, it'll switch to the yellow, which is the sport mode. It's going to be a medium response. And then we get orange. That's going to be our super sport mode, which is a fast response. And then red, which is going to be our race mode for an aggressive response. Now we also have a valet mode. You're going to hold this down for 5 seconds until that LED turns blue. And then now you're in the valet mode. Now if you hold it down for 10 seconds, that'll put it into the lock mode. You're going to wait for this to alternate between blue and white. So now we have that going back and forth between the blue and white. I'll hold it for another 10 seconds to deactivate it. And now we're back to our red. And then we also have an eco mode. You're going to hold this down for 3 seconds until it's alternating between white and green. And now it's got it going back and forth between white and green, so that means we're in our eco mode.
So that'll wrap up this review and install of the Shift Power USA throttle response controller for your 2019 and newer Ram 1500. Thank you for watching, and for all things Ram, keep it right here at AmericanTrucks.com.